The following is an exclusive presentation from Learfield.
Good evening and welcome, and thank you so much for being here tonight to join our celebration of 6 very worthy inductees into our Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame. We had a sellout tonight, absolutely. We sold out this tonight, and we'll have another sellout tomorrow. So this is going to be a great weekend to celebrate this class. And for all of us at Iowa State, this is absolutely one of the best days of the year. It truly is a celebration. We get to look back with fondness at our all-time great athletes, coaches, and administrators. And tomorrow afternoon, as I mentioned, it's going to be a lot of fun to take that celebration to a different level with 61,500 of our closest friends. We'd like to share our appreciation to Dennis and Lynn Quinn. They made the lead gift to endow the Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame, which will continue to support these special weekends honoring Cyclone legends. So thank you, Dennis and Lynn Quinn. The Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame was established in 1997, so tonight we celebrate our 28th Hall of Fame class. And we bring our total number of Iowa State Athletics Hall of Famers to 216. Tonight we have national champions, All-Americans, school record holders, pioneers, and leaders in their respective sports and led their teams to incredible success as well. Joining us tonight are 12 current members of our Hall of Fame, and we are so honored to have them here with us tonight. So when I call their names, I'd ask that they stand and remain standing. We'll hold our applause till the end, but we do want to recognize our Hall of Famers with us tonight. From the class of 1997, Gary Thompson. From the hold that applause. Oh, it's okay. He deserves it. Let's go. We'll do it that way. We'll do it that way. That's fine. From the class of 1998, Ed Gagne. From our class of 2002, Brent Simmons. From our class of 2005, Shelley Finnestad. From our class of 2008, Elaine Heber. From our class of 2008, Frank Randall. From our class of 2009, Linda Evans. From our class of 2010, Doug Wood. From our class of 2014, Mike Jackie. From our class of 2016, Dan McCarney. From our class of 2020, Lisa Cole Ewell. And from our class of 2020, Janet Anson Nash. Thank you so much to all of you for being here tonight. We also have several athletics department leadership staff members in attendance, and we'd ask you to stand briefly if you would as I read your name. Our athletics leadership staff members, Jamie Pollard, Nick Jose, Frank Nogel, Ryan McGuire, Shamari Moore, and Kelsey Sampson. We also have a current head coach with us tonight, our head wrestling coach, Kevin Dresser. And with Kevin in attendance, we count 7 national champion wrestlers with us here tonight. How amazing is that? Pretty cool. Also want to recognize our letter winner engagement staff. We'd ask that they please wave as I say their names, but these people work year-round to make sure that this celebration goes off without a hitch throughout the entire weekend. They do so many other things with great reunions, but it's just really special how much they care and how deeply they care and the work that they put into it. So we'd like to recognize Mike Green, right here, Ashley Yovanov, Addison Lane, Allie Rector, Megan Prochnow, and Olivia Johnson. Thank you so much. And we have with us tonight also several members of our letter winners Club Leadership Board, and we'd like to have them wave as well if we could as I read off their names. Kyvan Gatson, Frank Nogel, Tom Crochelle, Aaron Rosacker, Linda Evans, Stuart Buck, Bill Heffley, Kevin Lazard, Tom Walden, Lindsay Long, Lisa Ewell, and Mike Capabianco. Thank you so much for all you do. As we begin our celebration of this great class, we'd like to invite our Director of Athletics, Jamie Pollard, a two-time National Athletics Director of the Year, to get us started with a few remarks. Jamie?
Well, good evening. I so appreciate this evening every year. Many of the faces have heard me stand up here and talk about how this event means so much. It's always such an honor to be able to welcome back the greatest of our greats. I get the pleasure of being able to call each of them every year and tell them that they're being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And their reactions are priceless, usually very emotional because of how much it means. And I think one of the really unique things about our Hall of Fame that makes it that much more special, you can't get into this Hall of Fame because you know somebody. You can't get into this Hall of Fame because you donate to something. You can't get into this Hall of Fame because you lobby somebody. And you don't get into this Hall of Fame because the administration decides they want to do something. You get into this Hall of Fame because your peers select you. The athletics director and the administration, we don't even have a vote, and that's the way it should be. You're chosen to be into this Hall of Fame because your fellow peer athletes have looked at your credentials and believe you should be etched in the history of Iowa State. And that's really cool. And as the athletics director now for 20 years, with each passing year, it gets more enjoyable because you start to have athletes and individuals, coaches, staff that crossed paths while you were here. And you have these connections. And so tonight, it's really neat, although a couple of them I didn't have a personal opportunity to see them compete. But to have Rich Larsen to become the next long line of Ed Gagne, world-class gymnast going to the Hall of Fame. And when I read Rich's bio, I'm thinking to myself, how the heck is he not already in the Hall of Fame? But we have so many unbelievably great world-class men's gymnasts that went to Iowa State. And so it's an honor that we get to put another one of your athletes into the Hall of Fame. To Erica Martinez, I never got to see you play softball, but reading your bio, Shohei Ohtani gets all the credit for being the greatest two-way player. Somebody ought to show him Erica's bio, because not only could she pitch, she could hit, and she was the first two-way player. Okay? Erin Dethloff. Little did we know back in 2005-06 when we went to Corvallis to the Super 6 that 20-some years later we would have never gone back. But it just shows how amazing that opportunity and that achievement was for all of you. And to get to now be able to welcome you back to the Hall of Fame, knowing that 20 years ago, I went with you all to Corvallis to the Super 6. To Chris. To Chris Bono to have, I didn't get to personally see him wrestle, but to know his accolades, but then to have Chris on our staff and to be an assistant coach while I was here as athletics director. And then to now know that you and John are up at the University of Wisconsin as coaches, and to know we had that connection makes it extra special to be able to call you and tell you that you're going into the Hall of Fame. To AJ, where's AJ? Right down here. You know, most wouldn't know this, but the connection AJ and I have is his high school coach I went to high school with, Jorgie. And Jorgie was this stud athlete. And then he goes on to coach high school football, and I find out that we're recruiting this young man from Kimberly High School that played for Jorgie. And little did I know that was going to embark upon an amazing experience for me to be able to brag about the whole time you were here. Yeah, we're from the same conference, right? Fox Valley Association, Kimberly, right? But to be able to call you, if I remember right, you were just coming back from like a hunting trip or something. You'd been in Wisconsin. Yep. And, you know, you got this big, strong football player that just got back from a hunting trip, probably killed an animal with your bare hands. And I make him cry like a baby when I call him to tell him he's getting into the Hall of Fame. Okay? And then, last but certainly not least, a man that I've always looked up to my whole career as both a mentor, a peer, a colleague, but an absolute stud. And that man is why we're all here tonight, because Gene Smith and Dan McCarney were the ones that started all of this and started the Hall of Fame. So we wouldn't even be having that if we wouldn't have had Gene Smith here. And so to be able to call somebody that I look up to and admire and have always saw you as the gold standard as athletics directors, to be able to call you and welcome you into the Hall of Fame at Iowa State that you created was pretty dang special, Gene. So I hope you all tonight can enjoy our inducting these 6 individuals as much as I got to enjoy calling them all. Because tonight is one of those evenings that really puts the words, once a Cyclone, always a Cyclone, actually into action. Congratulations to all 6 of you, and thank you for all of you being here tonight to help honor them. Go Cyclones.
Thank you so much, Jamie, and I'll make the edits to my notes on all the things that Jamie mentioned that I was going to mention.
Finally, I got to
You got it, you got me. It is time to meet our 2025 Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame class. But before Jamie mentioned these videos, you're going to love them. And before we introduce our first inductee, Chris Bono, please check out his reaction when Jamie gave him the news that he was going into our Hall of Fame.
I'm on here today other than I wanted to say hi and wish you luck the rest of the season. But I'm also on here today because I get the pleasure of sharing with you, Chris, that the Iowa State Letter Winners Association has decided to put you into the Iowa State Hall of Fame this fall. And so congratulations.
Wow. Unbelievable, man. Thank you. That's I don't even know what to say. Thank you. It's that place was home to me, man. I absolutely love it. Thank you. What an honor.
Well, you know, life goes full circle, and the fact that you know, we get to honor you and put you into the Hall of Fame is really cool. And you know, what's really neat, I think, about our Hall of Fame is you get voted in by your peers, so fellow student athletes, and not just wrestlers, so all student athletes that are on the board. And so I think it's unique at Iowa State of how we do it, and I think that makes it even more special, that your peers believe you're worthy of basically the highest honor we can give our student athletes. So
Amazing.
It'll be fun to honor you this fall, and great for wrestling to have another wrestler go into the Hall of Fame.
Amen. Thank you so much. It'll be great. And I know the Bono clan will be in full force. You'll have a room full of people there. That's for sure. And you know these wrestling alum, they're going to show up and really sell that place out. But again, thank you so much. It's a heck of an honor. This is one of the best things that ever happened to me.
He wasn't wrong about the crowd. There are only a handful of wrestlers in Iowa State history who can match the accomplishments of Chris Bono. Recruited out of Florida by Jim Gibbons, Bono stayed firm to his commitment when Bobby Douglas took over, and what a ride those two had together. Chris was driven to be great, and after redshirting, he moved right into the lineup in 1994, and then became an All-American in 1995. And in 1996, Chris became a national champion at 150 pounds, defeating Ohio State's Charlie Becks in the final. Bono reached the championship match again as a senior and finished his collegiate career with 130 wins, the fifth most in Iowa State history. A three-time All-American, two-time finalist, and an NCAA champion. That is an amazing career. And it led right into an international career that included 3 world teams, and then a great coaching career that continues to this day at the University of Wisconsin. Bono is already in the Glenn Brand Wrestling Hall of Fame, and tonight he takes his rightful place in the Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame. We ask that you turn your attention to the video board to see the story of Chris Bono.
It's kind of unique, really. I wasn't really recruited by Iowa State until I went to junior nationals, and I wound up beating a kid named Darrell Weber when I was a junior in high school. And the next thing I knew, I got a call from Jim Gibbons, and we started talking, and he basically said that this kid's going to Iowa, and because you're beating this kid, you need to come to Iowa State, because that's who we've got to beat, these Hawkeyes. And that was it. That was when I heard that, and then I came up here and saw this and understood a little bit of the Iowa State rivalry. It was definitely a place I wanted to be. I tried to quit. I tried to go home. In today's day and age, I would have transferred, right? It was hard. I didn't get a takedown until February of my freshman year. Didn't win a match my freshman year. Couldn't make weight. So the adjustment for me was very, very, very hard. And luckily I had a great support system that wouldn't let me quit. And the coaching staff, you had Coach Douglas, but you also had Tom Ortiz, who doesn't get a lot of credit, who basically told me to man up, and you're here for a reason, and this is what you're going to do. You're not going crying back home to Florida. And it was tough love, and boy, am I thankful I ever got it. Luckily, again, the staff, we were never complacent. It was, all right, you're going to do this. All right, now you're graduated. Now you go win a world championship. Here's your opportunity to be on staff here, but your main goal is to go win world and Olympic medals. You won a national title, you came to Iowa State, that's what you're supposed to do. And, and I'm gonna bring up a real good story, because I think this guy probably doesn't get mentioned enough, but our equipment manager, Ron Green. All right, so Bear set it straight, and I'll never forget it. When you lost, he told you stunk, you lost, you shouldn't wear this, you should never wear the Iowa State singlet. And then when I won the NCAA championship, I came back, and the first time I ever saw Bear come out of the cage, picked me up, hugged me, and said, "Welcome to the club. This is what you're supposed to do here." And that, to me, was what the tradition at Iowa State was all about. I grew to really love the passion and the process of everything that goes into the sport of wrestling, not just competing, but the whole sport. 1996 was a super special year. We had a really good team, and Clody Tate dislocated his elbow and never made it back for the second semester. And we go to Stillwater, Oklahoma for the Big 8, and I think we had 5 champs, and then we all go to the national tournament in Minneapolis. And I remember after day one, we had a special kid, Jason Nuri. He wrestled behind Eric Aiken his whole career, finally got his chance. And Nuri was our spark plug. Nuri worked harder than anybody than I've ever seen. And all of a sudden, Nuri gets on a roll, and Dwight got on a roll, and Derek Mountsier started getting on. Barry Weldon's on a roll, and we cut our weight and we go to bed, and I think we were like 13-1 after the first day. Everybody's in the second round except one guy, and then all of a sudden, we got 3 guys in the semis, and then everybody's winning their blood round matches, and we got 3 guys in the finals, and we look up at the scoreboard, and we're like in second place. And super special. You don't go to the NCAA tournament with 5 guys and take second. And it was probably one of the most special teams I've ever been a part of. Wherever you go, I'm associated with Bobby Douglas, and it's you get questions over in Russia about him. You get questions when you're in Iran about him. So he's an awesome person. He took me from a very A guy that didn't know if he could really do something, and believing in me and working with me, to somebody that helped me accomplish everything that I did. You can't do this on your own. And we're very tight. We have this is a group text thread of about 40 guys. And we stay in constant communication. It's absolutely the biggest brotherhood you could possibly have. It's awesome. It's a bond that, again, will never be broken. So for me, this is the highest honor I've ever achieved, or ever received, I guess I should say. And so it's one of the most special things that has ever happened to me. And to be in here, the legacy, there's so many better wrestlers, number one, that are not in the Hall of Fame. So many better coaches here that are not in the Hall of Fame. So many better athletes than I ever was. So for me to be able to be a part of this it's a dream come true. And again, this is the end of it all. And it comes full circle, and I'm just super excited.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Iowa State Athletics Hall of Famer, Chris Bono.
Wow, that was, I told myself I wasn't going to get emotional tonight, but after seeing that and seeing the room tonight, it's probably going to be inevitable. So I know Mr. Green, I said I'd be short, but if I got to take a pause or two to collect myself, I will try. But good evening, Cyclone family. This is an incredible honor to stand here tonight among so many legends who have worn the Cardinal and Gold. Being welcomed into this Hall of Fame is not only humbling, but brings back a lifetime of memories, lessons, and gratitude. I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame committee, the past letter winners, and to Jamie Pollard for this incredible honor. And like I said, Mike Green, I told you this today, the organization of this and the communication has been absolutely awesome, and I appreciate all the hard work you and your team have done. To my fellow inductees, congratulations, and what an honor it is to be inducted with all of you tonight. You guys are an awesome group, and your accolades are amazing. Ames, Iowa, and Iowa State has been a super place for me. Not only did I graduate from here, I met my wife, I had my babies at Mary Greeley Hospital, and I started my coaching career here. When Bobby Douglas told me that the day I graduate from Iowa State, it was going to set me up for the next 50 years of my life, it was probably the most impactful thing he's ever said, and it certainly has come true. It has certainly been the best decision I've ever made in my life. From not winning a match my freshman year to standing up here tonight is something I never thought would ever be possible. I was just a kid with big dreams when I arrived in Ames, Iowa. And Iowa State became a home, and the people here, my teammates, my coaches, fans, and friends became family. I just hope in 2 weeks when I bring my Wisconsin team back here to Hilton to wrestle Iowa State, I'm treated like family and not foe. To my coaches, I have one right here from high school sitting right over here, Coach Borg. To my college coaches, Tom Ortiz, I've never told you how much you've meant to me, but I really appreciate it. And to Bobby Douglas, thank you for pushing me beyond what I thought was ever possible. To my teammates, you made the grind worth it. We celebrated together, and we built something way bigger than ourselves. To my family, my in-laws are here in attendance, Barb and Norm. Thank you for taking me in as a young college kid and still taking care of our family today. You guys have been absolutely wonderful, and I appreciate everything you've ever done. To John Reeder and Ashley Reeder, the loyalty and the belief you had in me when I was your coach, and now as colleagues, will never ever be forgotten. I love both of you guys. To my parents and my sister Dana, who's here with all of her family, I can't thank you enough or repay you for the support, the guidance, and the love you've given me. To my girls, Josie and Ellie, my biggest goal in life is just to be the best possible example I can be in all phases of life for you guys. Thank you for being just the best example. And to my wife, wow, have we been through it all. And for never wavering in the times, in the tough times, and for believing in me when sometimes I didn't believe in myself. I will love you always. And in closing tonight, as I join this incredible Hall of Fame, I do not go in as an individual. For all of you that have any impact on my life, for whatever reason it was, tonight you go in as well, and we all go in as one. So again, I thank you for this incredible honor. It is truly, like I said in the video, this is the best honor I've ever received in my life. And I appreciate it. And to all you fans that fill this room, I love you guys, and my career and my journey here at Iowa State is like a fairy tale. So thank you very much, and once a Cyclone, always a Cyclone.
Congratulations, Chris. Before we meet our next inductee, Erin Dethloff, we wanted to share with you Erin's reaction when Jamie Pollard told her that she'd been voted into the Hall of Fame.
Most importantly, I get the honor to be able to share with you that the Letter Winners Association has decided to put you in the Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame.
Oh my gosh! Are you kidding me?
So that's like getting a perfect 10, right?
Oh my gosh, I'm getting emotional. Oh, wow. I don't even know what to say right now. Wow, I'm speechless. Jamie.
Oh, that's cool though. That says more than any words probably. So
My time at I can't believe this. Wow, my time at Iowa State has been nothing but it's really wow. I can't even Jamie.
those that get put in are put in because they're fellow student athletes, and I'm not talking just gymnasts, it's all student athletes that are on that board, look at your credentials and say, she deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. So this isn't like some administrative decision. This is your peers going, Erin deserves this.
Thank you.
How genuine is that? Erin Dethloff was at the heart of Iowa State's emergence in women's gymnastics in the early 2000s. The Omaha native grew up a Nebraska fan, but knew that Iowa State was the place for her when Lou Ball joined KJ Kindler's staff with the Cyclones. And her impact was immediate. Big 12 Newcomer of the Year as a freshman, and the first freshman All-American in Iowa State history. Absolutely. And as the years went on, the accolades only increased. A two-time Big 12 champion on uneven bars, a 7-time All-American, and Erin joined forces with fellow Iowa State Athletics Hall of Famer Janet Anson to lead the 2005-2006 Cyclones to the Big 12 championship and the NCAA Super Six for the first time in school history. We ask that you turn your attention to the video board to see the story of Erin Dethloff.
It was definitely a journey. I'm originally from Omaha, Nebraska, and growing up, everyone was like, oh, Omaha, like you're gonna be a Nebraska Cornhusker. And my previous coach, Lou Ball, coached at my club gymnastics in Omaha, Nebraska. And then he ended up coming to Iowa State probably about 3 or 4 years prior, and he did most of the recruiting here with me. Did a recruiting trip here, loved the campus, loved the team, loved KJ and Lou. They really made me feel like I was a priority and #1. So really, it truly has been a blessing being here because I always felt like this was home to me, even though Nebraska was my second home, I guess. But Iowa State definitely has been my home away from home. Our recruiting class was a very large recruiting class. We had 6 freshmen. We did a lot of team building and bonding, and as coming from club gymnastics into more like Iowa State, it was very different because gymnastics was an individual sport in club gymnastics, whereas when you come to Iowa State, you are a team and it's all about the team. If your team doesn't succeed, you don't succeed. So it was really, really important during that time as a transition to really talk about like what it means to be a team and a team player, and it's not an individual sport. And we'll have our high moments, we have our low moments, but it was really those low moments that really pushed us to like, okay, we may have fallen or we may have done X, Y, and Z, but we're gonna build upon and fix our mistakes and move forward and move past that. And I think our coaches did a really good job of holding us accountable and having that high expectation of like, this isn't who we are, this is just a bump in the road, and we'll just kind of continue to move forward from there. And that's really what we did. We built upon our, I guess in a sense, our failures. We barely won Big 12s, but nevertheless, a W is a W, and it felt so good. It was emotional. I had a lot of my family there, being from Nebraska. A lot of my family, my club coaches were there. Everyone kind of was there to support Iowa State. I don't always like to talk about my individual championship because if the person in front of you doesn't do their job, for example, my uneven bars, if the people in front of me didn't do what they were supposed to do or what we trained in the gym, then it would have never been to that point because I did anchor the uneven bars. So everyone did what they were supposed to do before me, and then that end routine, I just made sure that I hit all my handstands, stuck my landings, so they really set me up for success. So this isn't about Erin Dethloff, this is about Iowa State gymnastics, and I think that has been the biggest thing that we continue to carry, or we carried throughout the 4 years that I was at Iowa State, is like, it's not just about one person, it's about Iowa State gymnastics. They've given me opportunities of a lifetime, and not just being inducted into the Hall of Fame, but I came as a freshman out of high school and not knowing what I wanted to do or what I wanted to be, and the people that surrounded Iowa State Gymnastics and myself, they guided me, from the academic counselors, from the coaches, like really molded into what I wanted to be as an educator. I've always had a passion for students and for helping, so they kind of helped me, guided me as I was moving towards that education. And then just being mentors. There were so many mentors here that I still talk to this day, and some that have passed, but I truly have a network that I feel like I can come back to Iowa State and be like, okay, Iowa State's home. It was shocking to me. I know that I had left my mark and left a legacy here at Iowa State, and to be acknowledged and to be celebrated was truly, truly an honor. I was completely speechless. I'm never one of a lot of less words, but I was speechless. I was truly speechless that people recognized and acknowledged everything that I had accomplished at Iowa State University. It just brings back so many memories, and so many memories that I have with my teammates. A lot of my teammates will be back visiting and celebrating as well. So when I say it's just not about me, it's about the team and about what Iowa State, that legacy of Iowa State gymnastics.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Iowa State Athletics Hall of Famer Erin Dethloff.
A little bit shorter. Okay, that induction video, holy moly, it was so embarrassing. When they said they were going to show it this evening, I am not a person that I have a lot of words, so I don't know what happened. But anyway, I don't know where to start, but standing here is so humbling and so surreal. To be inducted into the Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame is not something I ever imagined. When I first stepped foot at Iowa State, I'm deeply honored, and I want to thank everyone for making this happen tonight. When I think back to my time at Iowa State, it just wasn't about the routines, the practices, or the competitions. It was about the people, the lessons, and the growth. Gymnastics gave me so much more than an athletic achievement. It gave me resilience, lifelong friendships, and a work ethic. These are all qualities that I carry still today. As I mentioned in the video, I especially want to thank my coaches, Lou Ball and KJ Kindler. They're not here tonight, but I do want to recognize both of them. And like mentioned, Lou was one of my club coaches in Omaha, Nebraska at Cahoy's. Lou believed in me long before I fully believed in myself. Our coaches pushed me and my teammates to reach levels we didn't ever think we could. The care that both KJ and Lou showed us, and at the time, we didn't always agree with them, but now, looking back, I'm very thankful. They both left, so I want to thank them for their dedication and support to us. To my teammates, some of you are here tonight, and there are many that are not here. You are my family away from home. We celebrated victories, but more importantly, we carried each other through tough days, the injuries, and the setbacks. Gymnastics is often, like I mentioned, an individual sport, but that's not what I believed in or what we believed in. Every stuck landing, every cheer from the sidelines, and every moment we lifted each other up, and we made our years here at Iowa State unforgettable. This honor tonight is not just mine, it belongs to all of us too. I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for all of you. To my parents, thank you for every sacrifice, every long drive, to every meet, and every word of encouragement along the way. You believed in me, even when sometimes I didn't always believe in myself. You were my first coaches, my biggest supporters, and the foundation that made all of this possible. I'm here tonight because of the love and achievement that you poured in me from the very beginning. To my siblings and my extended family, thank you for always being in the stands. My brother was always there in his clown costume. He wanted to wear it tonight, and I told him absolutely not. And then always being there for me no matter what. I'm so grateful for all of you in this journey. Now to my husband and my children, you are my greatest blessing. You've been my biggest cheerleaders in this new chapter of life. Seeing the excitement tonight and the emotions in your eyes make this moment even more meaningful because I know I get to share it with all of you. I'm truly honored to be a part of this Hall of Fame class. We may not have crossed paths during our time here, but it is very evident that we share the same passion for our Iowa State family. Thank you, Iowa State University, for giving me the opportunity of a lifetime, for believing in me, and for letting me leave just a little small mark of a tradition that is much bigger than myself. Go Cyclone.
Congratulations, Erin. Well, before we introduce our next inductee, AJ Klein, we want to show you a clip of AJ's reaction when he was informed by Jamie Pollard of this honor.
I'm on the call today because you have been voted into the Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame by your fellow student athletes, not just football players, but all student athletes. And wow. That's really neat.
That's really cool.
Well, I take a little extra pride being that you're, a fellow Fox Valley Association student athlete. between Tyrese Halliburton, you, me, there's
Wow.
only a couple of us, right? So
Yeah,
it's awesome.
wow.
That's awesome. I love the emotion. That's what makes you you.
That's really cool.
Huh.
That was not, I wasn't expecting that at all today.
Well,
Um,
that makes my day to know it matters to you. And,
yeah, it does. It really does.
and what's really cool about our Hall of Fame is, you know, you're selected by your peers. And again, not football players necessarily, all the student athletes that are on the letter winner board, and they chose you as one of the recipients to go in this year. So congratulations.
Thank you. Wow. That is unexpected, but that's really cool.
Well,
That's
we're
really
not
cool.
totally
I'm glad that you were able to be the one to tell me.
oh, well, that matters to me too. So
You take a 17-year-old kid to Ames, Iowa. Never would have thought, right?
right.
And one, to have the opportunity just to play ball, and that's what I wanted to do. And you make a lifetime of memories in 4 years, and a lifetime of relationships with guys that I still keep in touch with, and just a connection to the university of now too, even being gone for how many years now? 12 years. You know what I mean? Just to be able to represent the university and be able to fulfill my dreams as just being a college football player, but then using that as a springboard for my professional career. It's if I was that 17-year-old kid again, I would have never guessed that this is where I'd be.
Huh.
You know what I mean? So it's pretty nuts. Pretty cool stuff. And just saying that university and the coaching staff and the guys and the players and I mean, without Iowa State, I wouldn't be where I am. So yeah, just really cool. Sorry, I'm just shedding.
No, I love it. That's awesome.
Shedding tears.
That's what it's all about right there. When Paul Rhodes was hired as Iowa State's head football coach, one of the first things he did was to re-recruit A.J. Klein, and it's a pretty good thing that he did. The incoming linebacker from Kimberly, Wisconsin turned out to be one of the best in Iowa State history. A.J. joined forces with Jake Knott to form a terrific 1-2 punch for Wally Burnham's defense. They led the Cyclones to 3 bowl games, 2 wins over Iowa, and one of the great upsets in school history, with A.J. recording a team-high 14 tackles in Iowa State's win right behind us over number 2 Oklahoma State, the game that blew up the BCS. As a junior, A.J. was named as the Big 12 Conference Defensive Player of the Year. He finished his career with the 4th most tackles in school history and the NCAA record for pick sixes by a linebacker. 4 times in his career, he had an interception return for a touchdown. From there, it was on to a highly successful 11-year NFL career, highlighted by a trip to Super Bowl 50 with the Carolina Panthers. And tonight, A.J. Klein takes his rightful place in the Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame. Please turn your attention to the video board to see the story of A.J. Klein.
So go back, I was recruited by Gene Chizik. I only had like 3 or 4 offers coming out of high school. Committed to Iowa State early, and then Gene had left for Auburn. And I was considering decommitting. Had other schools, had Iowa, Kansas State. Some of the Big Ten schools came after during my senior year. But Coach Rhodes, he flew out to Wisconsin shortly after he had got hired for the job, and basically was like, hey, we'd still love to have you if you want to stay. And I chose Iowa State for the community. I chose it for the college town. Me coming from Northeast Wisconsin and Appleton, not a big place. So I felt at home here. So that was a big reason why I came. Obviously didn't know much about Coach Rhodes, but also I wanted to be a part of a culture change as well. So I think with Coach Rhodes coming in, gave me a fresh start, gave everybody a fresh start, the university a fresh start. But it was fun, man. It was just the fact to be able to come out of high school, and most guys redshirt, I think, out of our freshman class. It was huge to be able to get on the field early and just contribute on special teams, and then a little bit of trash time at linebacker too. So it was great to get your feet wet early. We went to a bowl game that first year. There's a lot of excitement around the program. But to see how Coach Rhodes brought energy back, and everybody was excited. And obviously once you win, winning's fun. Like, you play this game to win, obviously you play it to have fun, but to see the hard work that we put in early on pay off and turn around that quickly to get to a bowl game, it was big for the university, it was big for the team, it was a big morale builder. So first and foremost, Wally Burnham, obviously Coach Rhodes for giving me the opportunity. He was hard on us too, Coach Rhodes as well. But Wally specifically was hard on us in the linebacker room, and making sure that he taught us the game. He taught us how to watch film, he taught us how to read offenses, and really taught us the ins and outs, right? You don't know that stuff in high school. You show up, you see ball, get ball, you run around. You might have a few plays here and there, but nothing like that. Was a big jump coming from high school as well. Wally took the time, and we'd sit in those film rooms before practice, and he would grill us. Like, it wasn't a comfortable meeting room to be in, to be honest. It was not comfortable, but he challenged us to be better. And once you start to get it after your freshman year, sophomore year gets a little easier, and then you start catching your stride. Shane Burnham as well. He was always, obviously being the defensive line coach, the communication front end, the back end. He was a great supporter of us, challenged us, but the list goes on and on. You could go Yancey and CO in the weight room. Talk about guys that are undersung heroes. I think strength staffs in general are undersung because we spend the most amount of time with the strength staff. And you want to talk about development as a football player, it starts there. And if it weren't for Yancey, and he acts as a therapist as well. Like, when things aren't going well on the football field, or when things aren't necessarily clicking how you want them to be, you go to Yancey's room. You don't go to your coaches, you don't go to your position coaches, you don't go to the football coaches, you go to Yancey, you go to CO, and you sit there in that room and you talk, and he talks you off a ledge or gives you words of encouragement. But just the time spent together with him was instrumental of developing myself, not only as a football player, but as a man as well. Early on, I just came in, I just wanted to play college football. I didn't think about the NFL. Like, maybe in the back of my head it was there, but it wasn't my number one goal. My number one goal was to come here, get an education, and play ball and have fun doing it, and win some games, and then whatever happened, happened. And was fortunate enough that had some success, obviously. And then, like I said, Wally sat me down and was like, hey, if this is something you want to continue to do after college, I think it's a possible avenue for you.
Whedon in the shotgun, 3 receivers left, 1 right, and he'll hand it off on a draw, and this is Randall, cutting back to his left, brought down! Tremendous play by A.J. Klein! Oh man, what a play he made!
That was a fun game. Friday night, obviously Oklahoma State being number 2 in the country, and coming in and playing here. It was another one of those wins that nobody outside the building gave us a shot. You had a loaded offense, they ran the spread 5 wide. They're like, well, you can't match up on the outside. The run game's better than what the Iowa State defense can provide. So that was more of a defensive game challenge for us. But again, that was a win that I think we built on as a program. Obviously, now we see we're ranked on the regular. We're beating top 10 teams, we're beating top 25 teams all the time. So I think it was a culture shift in general for Iowa State football to say, like, hey, we're on the same playing field as all these teams. I think being a part of the Hall of Fame here is it's more of a testament to the people, the coaches, my teammates, all the people that make this program go around. It's more of a testament to what they did more than what I did on a personal level. I think even with personal accolades, there's no such thing as a personal accolade in football because it's the ultimate team sport. It's a program effort. It's the coaches, it's the players, it's the teammates, it's the fans, it's the support. Because you don't achieve the highest level of yourself without the people around you. It means a home away from home, and it means family.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Iowa State Athletics Hall of Famer A.J. Klein.
Jamie already outed me as a crier, so I'll try to make it through this without doing it again, which it's not going to happen. Obviously, first and foremost, to share this stage with all the other inductees, it's an honor to be here. If I ever thought this was possible, I would have treated Picture Day a little bit more seriously. You can thank my roommate, my best buddy from college, Kyle Lichtenberg. We had a bet of who could grow their hair the longest. It was a terrible decision. But I'll get to it. So first and foremost, I want to thank God. Without his guidance and strength and love, I won't be standing here today. I believe that every opportunity and every challenge I've faced has been a part of a greater plan. And I'm forever grateful for his blessings. Next, I want to thank my family. This is the hard part. I got it. To my parents, Len and Jean, if I can see through my tears. Mom, I'm so glad that you're here. Dad, I miss you like crazy. But I know he's here. I lost my dad to cancer in 2016. He was my biggest fan. He made more friends in the RV tailgating lot than anybody else. So actually tomorrow before the game, we're headed back there to meet up with old friends that my dad made for me, which is great. I want to say thank you for your endless love and sacrifices supporting my dream. You have been my pillars of strength, always pushing me to be my best while reminding me the importance of faith, humility, and hard work. Your belief in me has fueled my passion and determination. To my siblings, being the youngest in the family, I got the opportunity to watch and learn and admire the three of the best people I know. I looked up to you as a child, and I still look up to you today. Thank you for always pushing me to be my best and showing up in the stands. To my beautiful wife and children, you are my source of joy and purpose. Even though we didn't share time together in college, we've been together for 12 years. And you have helped shape me to become the man that I am that's deserving of this reward. I also want to express my gratitude to my teammates. Some of them are here in front. Each of you has played an integral role in my journey. The countless hours we spent together have forged bonds that I will forever treasure. A brotherhood that goes far beyond the football field. I thank you. To my coaches, there are too many to name, but there are some here in attendance tonight that surprised me. Coach Wally Burnham. You taught me the game of football. You ignited a love of the X's and O's that would carry through all my years in college and in my professional career. You have not only shaped me as a player, but taught me the values of teamwork, resilience, and discipline. Your tough love, and most likely a well-deserved ass chewing from time to time, has kept me humble and hungry to achieve more. To Yancey, our strength coach, the guy, obviously from the video that I spent the most time with was my unhired therapist. It kept me in check, but I appreciate him for creating an environment of competition and energy in a place that tested not only my physical breaking points, but also my mental breaking points. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have became the player that I was. And also to Coach Paul Rhodes for giving me the opportunity to wear the Cardinal in gold. The fire that he showed on game day was the same fire that he coached with on a day-to-day basis, and I admire that about him. Finally, I want to acknowledge everybody who's been a part of this journey, friends, mentors, and fans. Each one of you has contributed to this moment, and I am deeply thankful for that. In closing, this honor is not just for me. It's a testament to all the love, hard work, and dedication from everyone who's been a part of my life. Thank you for believing me, and thank you for this incredible honor. Thank you, and go Cyclones.
All right, we need some more short inductees. Congratulations, AJ. Before we introduce our next inductee, Richard Larsen, we want to share with you Richard's reaction when he was informed of this great honor.
I wanted to jump on really quick because I wanted to share some exciting news with you, Richard. Is the Iowa State Letter Winners Association has decided to have you go into the Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame this fall.
Congratulations, Richie.
This is wonderful news.
Awesome. I love it.
This is wonderful news. Thank you.
Well,
thank you.
Well earned, well deserved, and you join a long line of great men's gymnasts that are in the Hall of Fame, and we're honored to put you in to that elite group.
I have no words. I'm sorry. This is not anything I was expecting. This is not something I am prepared to handle, I should say. This is wonderful news. Thank you so very much.
When Iowa State won its first NCAA team gymnastics championship under the direction of legendary coach Ed Gagne, Richard Larsen was in the stands watching in awe as a high school kid from Bethpage, New York. Richard wrote to Coach Gagne asking him to be part of the program. He walked on, and his determination didn't stop there. By his senior season, Richard was the Big 8 champion and then the NCAA champion on high bar. And by that time, he had also helped Iowa State to 2 more NCAA team titles. And tonight, that winding journey leads Richard Larsen to the Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame. Please turn your attention to the video board to see the story of Richard Larsen.
When I was in high school, there was a magazine called Modern Gymnast Magazine. And whenever I would get the Nationals issue, I would look to see who the top 8 teams were. And by my senior year, Iowa State had won, but those are the schools that I wrote to. They were not recruiting me. I was just seeing if I could, get into there. So that was basically it. I only got one response, and it was Coach Gagne. So that kind of settled it right there and then. Coming from a suburban Long Island, New York, it was culture shock. Never seen anything that vast, as a university, never seen anything, workout area, academics area, just, the way you got around campus. I was in awe. It was very humbling. When you're a freshman, you're kind of on the low end of the ladder rung. The other guys, they were just so good. I got in, I was looking up and, the things that they could do. I mean, Russ Hoffman, 3-time national champion, Dennis Mazer, national champion. Everyone around me were all Americans. So it was, yikes. It was a lot to take in. Coach was the big thing back there. He was so positive, such a motivator, that he really gave me that feeling that I could be a part of the team. And he found a way to make you compete at your highest level without you ever knowing it. Winning a national title with the team was probably the most important thing for me, because the coach had emphasized, if you want to get to nationals, the easiest way to do it is to get there as a team. It's pretty darn hard to get there as an individual. And so if you guys work together as a team, you got a great chance of getting there. And I think that was one of the, you call it team building, but there wasn't an event that we all didn't work with each other to make us better. It was a great atmosphere that way. And, for us to do as well as we did, you're not going to do that by yourself. That was the environment that we had in that gym. And it was fabulous. By the time I got to nationals, that was probably the best routine I've ever thrown in my life. Normally you hear people say your best routines will come in practice. There's no pressure, there's, you know, you're loose and, you know, things are flowing. And so a lot of times you won't hit that best routine in a meet. You will have done your best in a practice. And, you know, I was lucky. I was lucky. My best routine was the last routine I threw. This is truly probably the most humbling experience in my life. I am here with Olympians. I'm here with national champions. I'm here with people whose 4-year record of what they got achieved in, 4-time national champions, 4-time All-Americans. You know, I mean, I was a walk-on. You know, I did not compete my first year. I mean, I had to learn. And so just being in their class with them, you can't, I mean, I have no idea what I'm doing here. Oh, it's everything. It's everything. I was lucky to get here. I had a wonderful experience while I was here. I have lifelong friends that I was able to meet and continue to hold as friends. And it opened the door, the opportunities for me to pursue a career in teaching and working with gymnastics. I've been coaching gymnastics, my whole career. So I got 35 years in coaching. That, some very successful years, some okay years, but in all of those things, some of those mediocre years were some of the best years I've ever had coaching. Just that the willingness of kids to give is, I think, what I enjoyed most about my coaching, because that's what I was willing to do for my coach. So it's humbling, but I got a great start because I had a great teacher.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Iowa State Athletics Hall of Famer, Richard Larsen.
I am not going to look this way. Tonight is about thank you. Tonight is about not what I did, but who have impacted me. And so let me start with thank you, Jamie Pollard, for the dignity and the respect that you have given the men's gymnastics program. Thank you, Mike Green, for all of the hard work that you have done, and I always speak for my fellow inductees, to put on this absolutely wonderful weekend. Thank you for all your time. Thank you to Lindsay Long. I think Coach Mickelson said it the best when he said, Lindsay, I thought we adopted her. For all her contributions and her respect for our program, she will always be a part of the men's program. Now, to Coach Gagne. Coach, just hold on a minute. I'd like to tell everyone a little story. Honest, Jamie, it's going to be quick. The opportunity to come to this university, to begin with, is very humbling. So when I saw nationals, I just told myself, hey, how am I going to be good? I got to go to the best. That was Iowa State. So I quickly got an admissions form, application, sent it in, hoped for the best. The backup plan was to go to apprentice school and become a structural iron worker with my father. I guess I got lucky. Coming to Ames, Iowa, what the heck is a kid from New York doing in the middle of Ames, Iowa? Well, I liken it to Dorothy landing in Oz. Because for me, it was an enchanted journey. My first year, freshman year, 1971, was the first year the Hilton Coliseum was open. Drive by that building, my God, I'm going to compete there. I can still remember going down to the locker room, putting on that uniform, that bright red jersey with that ISU logo in the front. What an honor, what a privilege to be able to wear that uniform. Coach would come in and he'd say, you know, first year, we gotta have an inter-squad. We're gonna see where everyone is. Most freshmen would just be throwing their high school routines. So before I got up ready to go for high bar, let me preface this. When I got here, I could only do giant swings one way, and most of my skills were done under the high bar. So I got up, I hit my routine, and my score came up, and it was 5.85. I hit the set. The next year, oh, by the way, I did not work high bar for the remainder of that year. The next year, sophomore year, I got the opportunity at an away meet at Kansas to work for the team. My score came up, it was 9.5. 5.85, 9.5. I was grossly overscored. But I think it was that moment that coach saw that lightning in a bottle, that he was willing to take the chance and give me an opportunity to compete for Iowa State. The rest, what you saw. But I can tell you that I got there by myself because I absolutely did not. There are so many people that I need to thank, and I have to narrow that down so I'm not up here all night. And so I am going to speak about a few people. I want to recognize them because not only did they help me, but they impacted my life for life. It was a wonderful situation. My first, Steve Posner, a Pac-10 champion, All-American, lifelong high school friend, he's the one that talked me into going to Iowa State. He was my first call when I got the induction call. Mike Jackie, All-American. Retired president of the United States Gymnastics Federation. Jerry Fontana, All-American. Together, these two guys got together and decided that they were going to build a gymnastics camp where we could work out all summer long. What a tremendous learning experience. A couple of Ed's kids. Dave Block, one of Coach's original team members on his first team. A tremendous judge, wonderful man. Doug Wood, national champion. They are retired faculty members from Iowa State's architectural program. A couple of Ed's kids. Brent Simmons, Dave Butzman, Jim Stevenson, Doug Fitzgerald, national champions, All-Americans, but they were special because they wore the USA and represented the United States in international meets. These are my teammates. A few more of Ed's kids. Mark Graham, Big A champion, extended his career as a judge. He was one of two selected to represent the United States in the 1992 Barcelona Olympics. Another one of Ed's kids. Stacy Maloney, Big A champion, international competitor, decided that after he was done with competition, he would open up a gymnastics training center. To this day, Stacy is the only coach to have an Olympic gold medalist in the all-around. Myself, Mark Cummings, Big A champion, Dave Mickelson, coach at Iowa State, coach at Air Force. Coach if we are the sons of your program, I got to tell you, you got a lot of grandsons and you got a lot of granddaughters. And Coach, you got great grandkids too, who will emulate those things that not every coach teaches their athletes. They will be humble, they will have compassion, and they will express empathy to their athletes. You taught us that. It's hard for me to say this, but there is no coach, no program, no university that could possibly have done what that man did for me in 4 years. So Coach, tonight, I share this award with you because without you, I could not have ever succeeded and done this. My heart bleeds the essence of Iowa State, but Coach, you are Iowa State. So, thank you, Coach, I love you. To my teammates that have come here tonight to share this program, this wonderful opportunity, it's beyond words that I could ever express, and it means more to me than you could ever imagine. To my family, my wife Dawn, my rock, my best friend, the love of my life, my better half, whatever you want to say. Without her, it's not anything that I want to go through. To my sister Shirley, who saw it all from the beginning, and still here, you know, to be able to enjoy this night tonight. To my son, his wife, my granddaughters that are here. Did you ever see this day coming? I never did. To my extended family, the fact that you are here tonight just proves to me one thing that I already knew, and that is tonight, I am the richest, I am the wealthiest man in this room. Thank you.
Congratulations, Richard. Before we introduce our next inductee, Erica Martinez, we want to show you Erica's reaction when she was informed of this great honor.
I do get the pleasure today to share with you that your peers, fellow student athletes, not just softball players, but all student athletes that make up the Letter Winners Board, have nominated you to go into the Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame for 2025.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's a big surprise, and I'm very honored. That's, you know, it was a goal maybe one day to be acknowledged for that, but I'm very honored. Very honored. Thank you.
Well, you certainly earned it the old-fashioned way. Looking at your stats, and obviously one of the greatest softball players that ever played at Iowa State, one of 4 All-Americans, and I don't know many that can say they led the leaderboard both in hitting and pitching. So that's really neat, and it'll be an honor to recognize you in front of your peers and this fall. So congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very honored. And, you kind of mentioned the pitching and the hitting part of it. It's just, I just absolutely love doing those things and just put so much work into it. And, obviously that work paid off, but I'm very honored for the recognition. Thank you.
Well, you look like you could still play, so we could probably use you.
Yeah, well, I don't know about playing. I do some coaching now, but I definitely still try to throw it to my girls when I can. But, in my mind, I feel like I'm still in my 20s, but my body tells me otherwise.
Well, welcome to that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
As Jamie said earlier, Shohei Ohtani has taken Major League Baseball by storm by excelling as a pitcher and hitter. He forgot about the original. Babe Ruth is revered for his ability to do both at a high level as well. And tonight, we induct an Iowa State softball player who displayed that same versatility. Erica Martinez grew up in a softball family in the southeast corner of our state in Fort Madison. She enjoyed a great high school career before signing on with the Cyclones. In 2002, Erica earned All-American honors after leading the Big 12 in hitting with a .383 batting average. And that same season, she recorded 175 strikeouts as a pitcher. It is one thing to be a two-way player. It's another thing altogether to be elite at both pitching and hitting. Softball is still a big part of Erica's life as she's now a coach, and Iowa State is still a big part of her life as she carries the ISU flag proudly in Southeast Iowa. Please turn your attention to the video board to see the story of Erica Martinez.
So during the recruiting process, the biggest thing for me is I wanted to go to a big school, play the biggest and toughest competition. For me, it was finding a school that was going to let me come in, not just to hit. I was heavily recruited because I was a pretty good hitter. But for me, I wanted to find a school that would allow me the opportunity to pitch. So Iowa State was the one, talking to Coach Crow. She contacted me and I asked, will you give me the opportunity to pitch? And she said that she would, where other schools were wanting to get me to come in and play, but they wanted me for my bat and said I was too short to be a pitcher, but Coach Crow believed in me and gave me that opportunity. It was a big difference, obviously, going and playing at a high school level and coming in where it's very organized and it's very structured. I think the biggest difference was planning to get up every day at 5 o'clock in the morning, spend your day at school, and then coming to the field or going to the rec and practicing doing your individual pitching workouts. But it was definitely a lot more structured, a lot more demanding than what I was expecting. But I think that was definitely what you need to compete at this level. It's very difficult because they're both very specialized. So I had my individual pitching workouts with Coach Crow. Obviously you're doing your hitting with the team, but one thing that I did was 5 days a week I actually came back and practiced by myself or with a teammate. My brother would come back and hit with me, or one of the baseball players. So I spent 5 days a week coming back and hitting on my own, just to make sure that I was getting the reps and the work that I wanted for my strength and to give me the power to hit the ball over the fence. There's a lot of things that come to mind. Obviously, there's a lot of games, playing Iowa, playing Oklahoma. I mean, Oklahoma won the World Series, I think, my freshman year when I was here. I think the biggest memory that I have is just the time that I have with my teammates, whether it was on the field, in the weight room, or just, spending time together at our dorm or in the apartments together. But I would say the biggest memory that I have is just my time with my teammates. I think it's just what you go through, to be an athlete here at Iowa State, it really pushes you and it pushes the limits. And when you're, if you're running a 3-mile run and you've got somebody in the tail end that needs help, we're back there and we're yelling and we're pushing each other and we're doing everything we can to keep up. And it's just a different experience, to be able to go in and have teammates that are there and have your back. Softball has taught me a lot. I'm still involved with softball. I coach today. I think the biggest thing for me is just the toughness, the determination, the hard work. I mean, you have to make sacrifices, the desire to want to be the best, not just in your sport, but when you take that into your adult life, you want to be the best at what you do. So, just being able to work hard and make the sacrifices and the time to do well in life. So it's interesting, when you grow up in Southeast Iowa, you're kind of thinking that you're going to be a Hawkeye, right? Iowa State for me was an opportunity at a big university to play the sport that I love. Iowa State to me is the school that I would never send my kids to Iowa, right? I would only send my kids to Iowa State. Iowa State is just a place that I would call home. When I try to come back before moving back to Iowa, it's a home, right? It's where you spent, I spent 5 years here, but it was a place that had so many memories on the field, off the field, but it's home to me. It is the Iowa school, in my opinion. I think it's just kind of the icing on the cake, all the hard work that you put into your craft, a lot of sacrifices that I made to get to where I was at. It just really was it meant what I did was worth it. And, the hard work and things that I put into softball just allowed me to get this recognition. But it's
it's almost surreal to think where I'm at and to get this honor, because there's some amazing athletes that have received this, and so it's a little weird to feel like I'm with them on that level, but it's an amazing accomplishment. I appreciate, you know, all the coaches that I had. They taught me so much, whether it was on the field or really pushed me into the classroom, but it's 100% with my teammates. I mean, that's the biggest thing that I remember from being here is my teammates and the time that we spend, and when we see each other, it's just that love never goes away. But yeah, this is something that's just as much if it's mine, it's my teammates as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Iowa State Athletics Hall of Famer Erica Martinez.
Wow, those uniforms are awesome. What a humbling experience it is to be standing up here at Iowa State. Congratulations to all the 2025 inductees. It's truly an honor to be recognized with some incredible athletes. My journey with softball has been a lifelong adventure, one that continues today with coaching. I decided I wanted to be a pitcher at 9 years old, and my dad took me outside for what he was probably hoping was my first and last time pitching. I came inside with eyes full of tears, and my mom asked what was wrong, and my dad said, "I throw like a girl." What I also didn't know was when he came in, I didn't find this out till many, many, many years later, that he told my mom I was too short, I was too small. I'm not gonna look that way. I was too small, and I probably wouldn't make it. And that was what I heard a lot throughout my time growing up, whether it was softball camps or other colleges telling me I was too short. Well, Dad, I think I proved a couple people wrong. There are many people I want to thank today. First, thank you to Iowa State, the letter winner committee, the selection committee, Ashley and Mike Green. You were really helpful for preparing for today. To the Iowa State coaching staff, Coach Crow, Coach Kokenauer, Coach Tracy, and Coach Cochran, thank you. The role that you played in my success was important, both on the field and in the classroom. Coach Crow and Coach Kokenauer are a big part of the recruiting process, and when I made my decision, it was because they believed in me not just as a hitter, but a pitcher. And I am forever grateful for that opportunity. To my teammates, my forever sisters, this recognition isn't possible without each of you. We built bonds through 5 a.m. workouts, 8-hour bus rides, beating the Hawkeyes, countless hours on the field, Welch Avenue, and cheering on our fellow Cyclones. This is something that many people can't say they've done, but boy, the bond we created. When we see each other, it's like no time has passed, and I enjoy seeing everybody and their children growing up today. Many of the girls here today are many of my besties, but I do want to give a special shout out to Jen Weiss. You have taught me what it means to be strong, resilient, optimistic, no matter what life throws your way, and I'm so happy you're here today. To my older brother Tyson, thank you for giving me something to strive for. I always wanted to keep up with you. I always wanted to beat you, even though most of the time I was just target practice in wiffle ball. When I committed to Iowa State, you transferred here to play for Iowa State through the baseball program. What many people don't know is after practice and after study tables, I came back to practice on my own, and the vast majority of the time, it was my brother. Regardless of what he was doing, he dropped it to come back and practice with me. To my husband, Brent, even though our paths didn't cross until after my time at Iowa State, thank you for supporting the love of the game for me. You record every game and sit down and watch every game with me today, and you help coach our girls playing softball. I couldn't have asked for a better partner and father for my girls. To my parents, Eric and Donna Martinez, thank you for teaching me that with hard work, dedication, and sacrifice, anything is possible. Dad, thank you for practicing with me every day. I was that crazy kid waiting for you to get home with my glove, and you never said no, regardless of how tired you were. Thank you for always taking me out to practice. Thank you for coaching me all the way through my career and even in college with our after game discussions. I wouldn't be here without you. Mom, thank you for being my #1 fan and catching me until I was 10 years old. You believed in the short girl with big dreams. You came to every game, cheered me on from the sidelines even though I never could hear you, but you were always there for me and supported me through my journey. Thank you. To my daughters, Lucia and Eva, I want you to know that if you have a goal and you're willing to work hard and make sacrifices, you can achieve anything and even be standing on a stage like this one day. As amazing as this recognition is, you two are my greatest accomplishments, and I love you both dearly. I want to thank everyone that has made the trip here to Iowa State to watch this induction. To all my family, my friends, my teammates, and my Iowa United family, thank you. Go Cyclones.
Congratulations, Erica. When I was told I was too short, I just said I'll quit then. The life lessons you learn by coming to this event. Before we meet our final inductee, Gene Smith, let's check out Gene's reaction when he was informed of the award by Jamie Pollard.
I also get the pleasure to share with you what I know you got to do multiple times as AD at various stops, but also you've been a recipient of this before. And it's my honor to share with you that you have been inducted into the Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame class of 2025.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Jamie, that is so unbelievable. Such an honor and blessing. I certainly loved my time at Iowa State and all the people of Iowa, and particularly Ames, Iowa. But no, this is at the top of the pyramid. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's really moving. And I assume your varsity organization still votes on this, so thank them for me.
Well, I was going to add that to it is what's, I think, extra special for you is, how we decide who goes in. It's a vote of former student athletes. And so to think that former student athletes thought high enough of Gene Smith as their director of athletics to put you in the Hall of Fame is pretty cool. I mean, that's about as great a compliment as one could get in our industry, and very well deserved. So we look forward to honoring you this fall.
Yeah, thank you, Jamie. I'll certainly be there, whatever the ceremony is, and I really appreciate it. It is an honor, and you hit it right on the head when student athletes, recognize any of us for what we tried to provide for them. It does make it really, really special. So thank you. I really appreciate it, and I'm humbled by it. I can't wait to tell Sheila. She's going to be excited as well.
As Jamie mentioned earlier, it is so appropriate as we celebrate our 28th Hall of Fame class that one of the inductees is the man who was largely responsible for forming the Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame. Gene Smith was athletics director at Iowa State from 1993 to 2000, and among his many accomplishments was finding a way to honor our great athletes, coaches, and administrators. About a month into the job, Gene and the rest of us got hit with the flood of 1993, and like the rest of us, Gene was out there sandbagging and trying to figure out a way to get the water out of Hilton Coliseum. It was up to the corner scoreboards and beyond. Welcome to Iowa State, right? Even without the flood, some of our facilities were a train wreck. Gene and his team attained the financing to build the Jacobson Building and the suites in the stadium, a stadium which during his tenure was renamed in a beautiful way thanks to the efforts of so many people, not the least of which were our students. Jack Trice Stadium, a tribute that we are all so proud of today. And coaching hires? Okay, how's this for a list? Gene hired Iowa State Athletics Hall of Famers Dan McCarney and Tim Floyd. He hired Larry Eustace. He hired Bill Fenley. amazing. Gene recently retired after a great 20-year run at Ohio State University. Okay. The Ohio State University. He is in the Ohio State Athletics Hall of Fame. And tonight things come full circle as he joins the Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame. Please turn your attention to the video board for the story of Gene Smith.
It was July of '93, and that was the year of the flood. So one of my first experiences was sandbagging. The people were passionate. When you have an environment like you have here in Iowa, and particularly Ames, and the Cyclones, great character people. And when you have that type of environment, you have a chance. Value-based, operated with integrity, respect, and all those type of things. And so I felt comfortable that we could create a vision and chase it. And then it was just a matter of having the right people in place that could lead different parts of the athletic department. And so great people, great passion and energy. There's a lot of history that wasn't really talked about enough. And so we began to talk about that a little bit. Well, first, I really wanted a recruiter. You know, I wanted someone with, that could bring young people to Ames, Iowa. It really wasn't the thing. Someone that knew Iowa, someone that was passionate about the state. And he met those things right off the bat. You guys know better than me because that guy's so energetic. I called him before I came up here a few weeks ago and I couldn't get him off the phone. He still got it. And he was driven like I was. And so we connected. We established a bond right away. Watching it obviously from afar, and I was really excited that they got the Insight Bowl. And I didn't know I was going to have a chance to talk to the team, which he invited me to do, which was one of the most rewarding experiences of my career. But to watch the program evolve, you saw glimpses of it, obviously. He had great talent. I mean, all the way back to, Troy Davis. I mean, Troy put us on the map, frankly. So the reality is he put together a good group of talent. You still win ball games with talent. So I was excited to watch that evolve and then ultimately come to the Insight Bowl and stand before them and ultimately see the game. And it was just rewarding. It's just a warm feeling that I had throughout the season watching it and then to see him in the bowl game. We were able to really have great relationships, and that's what I missed. We missed Iowa State. We missed Ames for a couple years as we transitioned to Arizona State, but we missed the people, and that was something that actually contributed to my opportunities as I moved forward. I remember so much about just being authentic, being genuine, being forthright, all that. I remember that from being here, and so I was that way everywhere that I was at after here. Arizona State, Ohio State, I stayed true to those values. And not that I didn't have them when I came here, but they were solidified when I came here. Very unique, and talking about Kansas City and putting the women's tournament together with the men's tournament and, getting Bill Finley to come here and doing what he did. It was just so much fun. And I always felt comfortable that wherever we went, we were going to have Cyclones in the stands. I was never concerned about, are we going to have fans follow us somewhere? And Cyclones they show up. And so I felt comfortable that I was representing them in everything that I did with student athletes and things of that nature. But I truly enjoyed being in front of them. Like I have to say, when when we did go to Kansas City for those tournaments, I always loved those rallies and speaking to them speaking to the Cyclones at those rallies. It was so much fun. I really felt blessed to have this experience and be here, but I've been fortunate in my career. Sitting here today, knowing that Iowa State, the Cyclones, and the coaches and the staff, I stood on their shoulders to have the opportunities that I've had in life. And I'm so blessed that I had a chance to be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Iowa State Athletics Hall of Famer Gene Smith.
Good job, John. You did a great job tonight. Let's give John a round of applause. You did a great job. So I know that I'm the last one, so we're going to turn this into a fundraiser, Jamie. You guys want to get out of here? I can be 2 minutes or I can be an hour. Got to write checks. But let me first and foremost thank all of you for being here this evening. Let me congratulate all the honorees. I mean, Chris Bono, my God. I remember you, boy. But to have the opportunity to be recognized by this great institution is truly an honor, and hopefully all of you felt it in the speeches that all the honorees shared with you. Let me also recognize the current Hall of Fame members, some of them that I stood on their shoulders and had the opportunity to lead here. Let me thank the letter winners board for this opportunity to be here as well. I love this place, I really do. Sheila and I had a great time here. We learned so much here. Everything that we carried forth in our blessed career was from here. Great place. Now I got to tell you, I came here in 1993. Reed Crawford, I want to thank you for making those phone calls to me because I was single at the time. And I'm thinking, Jamie, same as Iowa. First of all, they ain't gonna hire a black guy. And I remember Reed Crawford reminded me tonight, like, I don't know where you're gonna get your hair cut, but that's not an issue. But, the great thing about this place, it's not the facilities, which, by the way, Jamie, great job with these facilities. It's the people. People are the heart and soul of all that matters in life. Your personal relationships, your work relationships, whatever. Facilities are one thing. The 45-pound weight, AJ, is 45 pounds, I don't care where you go. But the people make the difference. And that's what's so special about this place. So special. Sheila and I went through a memory lane today and toured the athletic facilities, toured the campus, went north of Ames, went to see our old crib, which is old. And all the newness that has been built here. And the whole time driving, all I could think about was the people that made that growth happen, the people that contributed to the growth of this institution in this environment. So many people. So thank you for the opportunities to be here. I do want to recognize my wife, Sheila. Some of you know her. She's my rock. She's my truth teller. Okay, how many of you have that person in your life that will tell you the God's honest truth about yourself? You need that person, right? Right? I grow this beard because I'm tired of her telling me that my mustache is crooked. So you got to have that person in your life, and she's my truth teller. I take a bullet for her anytime, and I love her with all my heart. So thank you, Sheila. Thank you for everything that you've done for me and our family. And we have 4 children and 8 grandkids, and fortunately they're off my monthly payroll. But anyway, I digress. But I do want to also recognize Jamie. This stability is so important in leadership, so important. And the vision that he's created here, everything for the student athletes that we've had the blessing to serve, he's done a masterful job and continues to do this, to do it here. The industry has changed to a great degree, and he and his colleagues have been masterful in managing it. I want to ask all of you to continue to support him, his vision, and Iowa State University. When you have an opportunity to create an environment for student athletes to be successful in the winds of change, you have to continue to focus on, bottom line, the people, and Jamie does that. Change is inevitable. It's inevitable. We have to embrace it, otherwise we'll become irrelevant. Iowa State University should never be irrelevant in intercollegiate athletics because of the people. Because of the people. And that's what matters the most. Thank you for this honor. Now, you can write your checks and you can go home. But anyway, thank you so much. God bless y'all.
Congratulations, Gene. He was just kidding, but you will accept the checks, won't you, Jamie? Venmo works. What a night. What a special night. And when I say let's give one more round of applause to this Hall of Fame class, let me emphasize the word class, because the class displayed on the stage tonight was second to none. So congratulations to all our Hall of Famers. Thank you so much to everybody who decided you wanted to be a part of it. I know how much it meant to our inductees. We will see you all in Jack Trice Stadium tomorrow. Go Cyclones! The Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame was established in 1997 and has grown to 216 inductees. Last night we celebrated 6 Cyclone greats, and we're excited to honor them here with you. A 3-time All-American and national champion wrestler, Chris Bono was Iowa State's star on the mat in the 1990s. Bono was a 2-time conference champion and twice made the national championship match, winning the 1996 NCAA title at 150 pounds. Bono was named the most outstanding wrestler at the inaugural Big 12 championship and was the recipient of Iowa State's Male Athlete of the Year award in 1997. He finished his remarkable career with a 139-35 record, the 5th most wins in Cyclone history. Please welcome Hall of Famer Chris Bono. Erin Dethloff's impact on Iowa State gymnastics from 2003 to 2006 helped elevate the program into the national spotlight. Dethloff won a pair of Big 12 titles on bars and earned all Big 12 recognition 9 times. She was a 4-time NCAA qualifier, earning All-American honors 7 times, ranking 2nd in school history. But more importantly, Dethloff's accomplishments were instrumental in guiding Cyclone gymnastics to their greatest season in school history in 2006 with a Big 12 championship and a spot in the NCAA Super 6. Please welcome Hall of Famer Erin Dethloff. A.J. Klein, a 2-time first-team All-Big 12 pick and the 2011 Big 12 Co-Defensive Player of the Year, is one of the greatest linebackers in Iowa State history. The 3-year starter and 3-time All-Conference performer ended his brilliant Cyclone career in 2012 with 361 career tackles, the 4th most in school history. The Cyclones appeared in 3 bowl games during Klein's amazing career and he continued his success at the next level, enjoying an 11-year NFL career where he compiled 465 tackles, 15.5 sacks, and 82 starts. Please welcome Hall of Famer A.J. Klein. Richard Larsen was the epitome of determination and perseverance during his tenure as a member of Iowa State's storied men's gymnastics program from 1972 to 75. The Cyclones won 4 Big 8 championships and a pair of NCAA titles with Larsen on the team. As a senior in 1975, Larsen joined a long list of all-time Cyclone greats when he captured the Big 8 title and NCAA championship on high bar, joining Hall of Famer Brent Simmons as the only 2 Cyclones to win an NCAA high bar title. Please welcome Hall of Famer Richard Larsen. All-American Erica Martinez was one of the greatest and most versatile players in the history of the Iowa State softball program, where she excelled as a hitter, outfielder, and pitcher from 2000 to 2003. A 3-time first-team All-Big 12 selection, Martinez led the Big 12 with a .383 batting average in 2002, a season where she also led the Cyclones in hits, doubles, runs, walks, ERA, wins, shutouts, and strikeouts. One of 4 All-Americans in Iowa State softball history, Martinez ranks in Iowa State's career top 10 in 5 pitching and hitting categories. Please welcome Hall of Famer Erica Martinez. Gene Smith is one of the most decorated and revered collegiate athletics directors in history, and his 7-year tenure from 1993 to 2000 as Iowa State's athletics director provided the groundwork for the department's amazing success at the turn of the century. Under Smith's leadership, Iowa State drastically improved its facility landscape, and his shrewd hiring of multiple outstanding coaches led Cyclone athletics to one of their most prosperous periods on the playing fields. Please welcome Hall of Famer Gene Smith.
This has been an exclusive presentation from Learfield.